am Tony Styles. Welcome to the show. I already apologize ahead of time. I'm under the weather as I'm dealing with the flu, possibly walking pneumonia. So please bear with me as we get through Monday Night Raw tonight. I know it was supposed to be on Monday night, but we unfortunately had to postpone this a couple of days due to my illness. But we're here, and I'm excited to see how this card plays out. We got a stacked card. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels will take each other on at Backlash, but that's next week. This is this week, and let's see what we got planned for the opening contest. I'm excited. I hope you are, so let's get to the ring. And here we go, the debut of Peter Moline. Everybody's been waiting to see the debut of this young man, Peter Moline. I'm excited to see what this young man is going to be bringing to the LSWA as he is now debuting for Monday Night Raw. And if you watch WCW Nitro, you have just found out that this young man, upon his arrival here, will be traded to WCW as he will join the Figure Fight Club. And Abby J-Mac and Alpha Red, as the WWF will now receive some cruiserweights, starting with Justin Booth. But now, Peter Moline is here, ready to go. That's right, you heard it right, the Gladiator, Peter Moline is here. Constantly mistaken for another professional wrestler in the game right now. We don't know who. We're going to pretend like we don't know, but we all know. But he is here on the apron, ready to make his debut in what I believe to be a triple threat match. As I said before, I apologize for being way behind on all of this content, as I have been very, very sick dealing with walking pneumonia. It started out as the flu, but here we are. I got diagnosed today. It's Peter Moline versus Big Talib and BX Medic. So I'm excited to see how this plays out on this young man's debut. He is fired up here. We are coming to you from Omaha, Nebraska. I know, odd, but hell, you got to go everywhere. And this is where Peter Moline will be debuting tonight on Raw. But like I said, next week he will be on the WCW brand. But he was contracted to WWE, so he had to make this his debut here on Raw. And then he will be handed over to Bischoff and SmackDown. Nitro, sorry. As Lunchbox Killer makes his way to the ring. Lunchbox Killer has been on quite the win streak. As I am just being told that this is a fatal four-way. Originally it was billed as a triple threat. They just threw Lunchbox Killer in here after he scored a big-time victory last week against his mentor Ken Shamrock in that underground brawl-style fight. Very impressed with this young man, am I, as he was not only able to hold his own against Ken Shamrock, he was able to score the pinfall victory, or well, the knockout victory, as he knocked out Ken Shamrock via a big-time belly-to-belly suplex on the outside, and Ken Shamrock could not respond to the referee's warnings, or whatever you want to call it. But here we go now. We're waiting. Big Talib. It's going to be a big-time fatal four-way. As I said, I might be a little under the weather here, so you might get some breaks in between, and I apologize ahead of time because I might be coughing. But here comes Big Talib, ready to go. Going to be taking on Peter Moline, Lunchbox Killer, and BX Medic. Of course, this match has no title implications at all. It's just the debut of Peter Moline, and just to see some of the future of the LSWA. The LSWA is looking brighter and brighter as each week passes, as we get new and new members every week, and we appreciate that. Thank you so much for being a member on the Legend Series channel. You get this storyline-based content every week. As I told you before, I'm going to apologize 100 times tonight. This Monday Night Raw should have came out the same day as Nitro, and it didn't. And that is because I have fallen very sick very fast. But here we are. Better late than never, I always say. As BX Medic is now on his way to the ring, the opening contest for Monday Night Raw. Or special Thursday Night Raw. Raw has aired on Thursdays. That actually has happened. So that being said, it's not out of the realm of possibilities for these shows to not happen on Monday. And I'm not making excuses. But if I could be quite honest with you, I didn't expect to get walking pneumonia in 3 days flat. So, we have a stacked card, and I'll break that down for you right now with a part of this Fatal 4-Way, which I'm guaranteeing you to be one hell of a competition here. We got Rowdy Riles going to take on Rhea Ripley. We got Mason Rule taking on Psycho Sid. We got Bourbon McJack taking on Brutus Creed as he and the American Maid will be joining him. Jay Gonzo takes on another legend. The Handsome Snakes take on The Movement. Virgo Cool takes on Stacey Hatch. Don Curvin versus Rob Van Dam. And Jay Ones and Brandon Matthews team up against Artie Bucco and a partner of his choosing. And we'll see who that is in the main event tonight. But right now, the bell rings for your opening contest here. And Talib and Moline go at it while BX Medic and Lunchbox Killer throw some fists here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here at the LSWA. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for joining Legend Series channel. We very much appreciate you. And I promise in the coming weeks they will be bringing back action figure content. As these four men really take it to each other. And now Lunchbox taking it to Talib with a nice snap suplex as Moline and BX Medic now get back up. Oh, Moline now. And a nice DDT by Lunchbox Killer. And Big Talib now is in big trouble here. And Moline already swinging the lumber, debuting here. Doesn't really give a crap. Wants to get out of here with a W. As he wants to take some momentum into WCW. As he joins the Figure Fight Club. I would have liked to see him stay here on Raw to see what he could have brought to the table. But hell, we're going to trade Peter Moline for an entire division, it seems. As the WWE is now bringing in a Cruiserweight division. As well as the Women's Championship will be now exclusively on Raw, as the women will now be assigned shows soon. As the rosters will be growing. As now Moline taking it to Lunchbox Killer here with a nice Manhattan drop. But BX Medic staying right on top of Moline. Now nobody really knows much about Peter Moline as he is debuting tonight. So I'm assuming these three men didn't do their homework on him. Didn't really get a scouting report. So they have no idea what to expect with Peter Moline. But BX Medic has impressed a lot of people right now with his current rivalry with Don Curvin. And Lunchbox Killer has shocked the world when he beat Ken Chap. Whoa! Kendo stick! Right to the back of the Harley Race knee. And now, oh, Triple H busts BX Medic open and breaks the stick here and made Talib. Talib went for a cover there. Talib using his brain there. As Moline took out Lunchbox with the kendo stick. Tried to capitalize on that. As I said before, I apologize. I'm under the weather here. Every time my voice gets to a certain level, I start coughing. So I'm going to be hitting that mute button a bunch. So I'm very, very sorry. So I'm going to try to call this to the best of my ability. I'm guaranteeing you right now, this ain't going to be my best work. But right now, there's a lot of action going on in the ring. We want to talk about best work. These guys are putting it all on the line. Beautiful back suplex by BX Medic, dumping Peter Moline on his head. As now Lunchbox Killer's got BX Medic right where he wants him. He's mounted in the position here. Overhand strikes right to the face of BX Medic. And it's really hard to give an advantage to any one of these young men right now. Some of them are on a momentum here with the same Lunchbox. BX Medic. Even Big Talib has been rolling on Raw lately. What a suplex by BX Medic. Dumps Lunchbox Killer right on his face. And wait a minute now, Talib's got a sledgehammer. And now, I'm sorry about that, I coughed a lot. And now Lunchbox Killer is in trouble. Dumps right on the outside by Big Talib. A lot of weapons in this opening contest. Did not expect this kind of violence this early. But hell, it's Monday Night Raw. You want to get out of here with a pinfall victory. Oh, what a clothesline by Peter Moline. Drops Big Talib. Now goes for a cover here. Lunchbox Killer breaks it up, of course. This is an elimination. This is one sudden death, if you want to call it that. First pinfall wins. Hell of a spine buster. Moline he is really displaying some kind of offensive maneuvers. He's really impressing me. And what a power bomb by Talib. That might do it right there. And BX Medic now breaks that count up. Now he's going to walk Talib over to the corner here. Smashes his head right into the turnbuckle. As you know, last week on SmackDown, Stone Cold Steve Austin took on Tone Bone in a cage match. Stone Cold Steve Austin unfortunately suffering another knee injury. When he was climbing the cage, he came down, he dropped down, he blew out. They say he tore some ligaments in his knee. And wait a minute, BX Medic now. BX Medic almost scored a pinfall victory, but Moline staying right on top of him. Is Moline about to go for that pedigree maneuver? And he drops BX Medic. He's going for a cover. One. And Talib just breaks that up. You got to be careful, man. This Peter Moline is sneaky good right now. Very surprised at the abilities of Peter Moline. As he, look at this, dodging out of the punches and then clothesline and Talib. This guy really must have done his homework before he came out here tonight to debut on Monday Night Raw. The question is he going to kind of bring this same kind of fire and focus to WCW when he joins the Figure Fight Club? Because right now, the Figure Fight Club is really racking up the gold. As Abi is now the Gimmick Factory champion, and they have an opportunity to win the tag titles at Slamboree this weekend, as unfortunately we had to push that back to this weekend. It was supposed to be last weekend. But again, I got very, very ill, and we really couldn't do it. Couple of scheduling conflicts, couple of rolling blackouts led to the cancellation. Oh, what a package pile driver by Lunchbox. BX going for a cover here. And a kick out by Lunchbox. You always got to tip your cap to the never say die attitude of any of these guys. Always willing to put it all on the line, and they'll sacrifice their bodies. They'll sacrifice years off their career if it means getting a W here at the LSWA. What a kick by I was going to say Shinsuke Nakamura. Obviously, that was BX Medic's trainer. Is now BX Medic going for something here. Oh, what a maneuver by BX Medic. I believe he calls that the Boogie Down Driller. And now Peter Moline not having it. I am shocked. That would have taken out a lesser man, but Peter Moline. And look at that. Talib just breaking that count up by using Peter Moline as a weapon. And now he drops Lunchbox Killer down. 1, 2. And a kick out by Lunchbox Killer. You gotta be impressed with these guys, man. For real, for real. These guys do not. Oh, kendo stick right over the head. You gotta be careful with that. That'll cause a concussion. As Talib now didn't really think that one through, as Moline was literally watching him literally do all of them. And now Talib staying right on top of his opponents here as he now goes after Lunchbox, but Lunchbox ain't gonna play that. Lunchbox Killer came in here floating on cloud 9 after a big-time victory on Ken Shamrock. What a power slam. And now a sledgehammer right to the abdomen of Moline. That might have broken some ribs. He might be sending Peter Moline over to WCW broken. Of course, they won't get their money back on a warranty there. Moline goes in injured. A deal is a deal. The WWF will be receiving Justin Booth, the Saponi Werewolf, and a couple other cruiserweights to start their cruiserweight division, courtesy of WCW, and in return, granting an open door to Peter Moline. For some reason, the Figure Fight Club have taken a shine to Peter Moline and Eric Bischoff as well. But I gotta be, well, look at that, Jesus, man. Oh, Talib is a man possessed here, wants to get a big-time W here in the opening contest of Monday Night Raw. 1, and a kick out. Well, a breakup by Lunchbox, I should say. Again, as I said before, I did not expect this kind of violence this early. But I guess in a Fatal 4-Way where there are no, standard rules, there isn't pinfalls. There's pinfalls and submissions, but there's no countouts. And there's no DQ, there's no disqualification. So you can use whatever you need to get the job done. The question is, Can all of the men stay down long enough for you to get a pinfall victory? And look at this, Talib steps right in between Peter Moline, the Lunchbox Killer, and Moline not impressed at all, drops Talib down. Wait, 1, 2, and Talib just kicks out of that. I thought that was it. This Peter Moline really displaying power, really displaying a pro wrestling acumen that I didn't think I was going to see from a gentleman who's just debuting tonight. I'm very impressed with this. As Talib breaks up a count, BX Medic trying to go for it all right there. And now Lunchbox reversing it. There it is. That's the belly-to-belly that put Ken Shamrock down. Lunchbox going for a cover here. 1, 2, and Lunchbox Killer gets the big-time W. What an opening contest. That was very violent for your opening contest. But Lunchbox Killer got the job done. Scores another victory. This kid is rolling. Beat Ken Shamrock last week and now scores a victory over all three of these men. Gotta ask yourself a question. Will young Lunchbox Killer find himself in title contention? And the answer's got to be yes.
Here is your winner, Lunchbox!
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Lunchbox Killer. He is rolling with this momentum at the LSWA. And let me tell you something, I'm impressed with this kid every week. That being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, Roddy Riles will battle it out with Rhea Ripley. That being said, we're going to take a quick with Rhea Ripley. With Rhea Ripley. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Here you go. This is my brutality. Rhea Ripley's on her way to the ring. I'm trying to get away with using this theme song. If I get in trouble with it, I really don't care. The song is awesome. But Rhea Ripley is on her way to take on Rowdy Riles. Now, I'm being told you're seeing a preview of Backlash as these two young ladies will be with the other two young ladies that will be on tonight, Virgo Cool and Stacey Hatch, as they will all battle it out at Backlash to determine the first contender, not the champion, the contender for the WWF Women's Championship. And of course, at Backlash, we're going to see another women's match, and the winner of that match will fight the winner of the Fatal 4-Way match. And of course, we will then have our very first WWF Women's Champion. But Rhea Ripley's making her way to the ring. She's ready to go. We'll be taking on Rowdy Riles, who's been scoring some victories. He's been going over to the Gimmick Factory, settling some scores. Obviously, the unfortunate recipient of an L at the hands of Kitsune, the Crazy Fox, in a Hell in a Cell. Or Street Fight. I'm sorry, a Street Fight. And she is here. Rhea Ripley's ready to go. She knows that she has to impress the brass here, because she will be a contender for the WWF Women's Championship at some point. We don't know when the belt's coming, but we know we're going to establish the contenders. And as you know, that's the theme of Rowdy Riles. As she makes her way to the ring right now. Here she comes.
From Virginia Beach, Virginia,
Rowdy Riles is ready to go. Rowdy Riles has made no secret that she wants gold around her waist. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to beat some stiff competition here. No pun intended. As you have a lot of hungry young ladies out there who want to be a champion just as much as you do. And in order to climb that mountain, in order to plant that flag at the top of the mountain, you're gonna have to get around women like Rhea Ripley, women like Stacey Hatch, women like Virgo Cool, Kitsune, Origin, Radisson Vale. The list goes on and just continues to grow. So I'm excited to see how this all plays out as we continue down the old yellow brick road of LSWA. And there we go. They just shook some hands. That was nice to see. As Rhea trying to go for a big boot and end it real quick. And Kitsune. As Rowdy Riles reversing. Now there's going to be a little bit of chain wrestling right now. Again, I'm going to apologize ahead of time as I'm feeling very under the weather, so this isn't going to be my best work. Here we go. We're going for cover already. Rowdy Riles doesn't even let it get to a 1 count as she goes right over on top. Whoa, now it goes to a 1. As you know, Rowdy Riles, a fan of Rhea Ripley, requested this match in the locker room, of course. Adam Pearce granting it. And there we go. She's got her in a headlock. Now a reversal. Quite a bit of chain wrestling here to open up the match. Doing a little bit of homework. Going to the Gimmick Factory to train every week. They're training with guys like William Regal, guys like Triple H, guys like Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero. You're going to learn a thing or two. You're bound to, even by accident. As now Rhea Ripley locks on a hammerlock onto Rowdy Riles here in the center of the ring. Again, I want to apologize for me being sick, but I want to thank you all for being a member and hanging out, enjoying the storyline-based content. Of course, this weekend we will have Slamboree live and Backlash. I don't know if they're going to air at the same time or separately. I don't know. I'm not privy to that information right now, but I do know Slamboree will air live. As Rowdy Riles locks on a headlock, really working over the chin of Rhea Ripley and a knee to the back there. Rhea now getting a much-needed break, getting out of that ring and now coming back in, just regrouping a little bit. But Rowdy Riles is not allowing Rhea to regroup at all as she now puts her what looks like in a tarantula hold, but Rhea reverses it into a sidewalk slam. As I said before, I am being told right now that there is a match going on. There is a negotiation between Radisson Vale and Kitsune for a match at Backlash. And those two will fight the winner of that Fatal 4-Way I was just telling you about. And of course, that will crown the new WWF Women's Champion. But the question is, what was Radisson Vale's beef with the Kitsune when they, last week, Radisson Vale fought Kitsune one-on-one. What a match. Wasn't happy with the end result, I guess. It's now, wait a minute here, look at this. Nice sidewalk slam. There she goes off the ropes. So it looks like, I'm assuming a neck breaker. Flipping neck breaker by Rhea Ripley. I think that's a staple in this LSWA because everybody seems to do that move. And an elbow drop off the top rope by Rhea Ripley. I assume when you don't go to the top rope in this game, they just give you an elbow drop. So, if you're wondering why most of you do the elbow drop, I assume that's why. And a double axe handle, but Rowdy telegraphed that, reverses it. And now going to stay on top of Rhea Ripley. Dumps her right on her dome with a side suplex. A Saito suplex, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2. Oh, wait, a kick out by Rhea Ripley. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for hanging out and watching this show. I appreciate you so much. We have a lot more to come, obviously. This is just the second match of our show. We still have Bourbon McJack taking on Brutus Creed. He'll be joined by his brother, Julius, and of course the rest of American Made, with the exception of Kurt Angle, who is currently traveling to Backlash, where he will take on Nico Tronis one-on-one for the Intercontinental Championship. And now going to wrench the head of Rhea Ripley and slams her head off the canvas. Rhea Ripley now becoming a staple here on Raw, officially signs to the WWF brand. As Eric Bischoff tried to get her to come to WCW, she said something in Australian. Now, she is Australian. We don't know what she said. But Rowdy Riles, now Irish whip. Rhea's off the ropes here. Drop down. And a nice spine buster. Gonna go for a cover. Now Rowdy Riles looks like she's got Rhea Ripley right where she wants her. What a maneuver by Rhea, going for a cover here. 1, 2, and Rowdy kicks out. Rowdy Riles basically fighting one of the young ladies that she looks up to. Maybe inspired her to get into the LSWA. And she now might be going for that riptide. She's going for the riptide. She nailed the riptide. Going for a cover here. 1, 2, and Rowdy kicks out again. Rhea's got to ask herself, if a riptide's not going to do it, what'll do it? Because now she's waiting. Might be doing it again here. Is she going to go for that riptide again? I think she might. Oh, no, eat defeat this time. Driving her foot right to the mouth of Rowdy Riles. Rowdy Riles might be drinking her food through a straw for a couple weeks. And a nice Huracan Rana by Rowdy. Maybe acting on instinct here. Going to break that count up. As the ref continues to count on Rhea Ripley. She better get in. Oh, what a dive by Rowdy Riles. Rowdy is very rowdy right now. Fired up. Ready to go. And a knee right to the head of Rhea Ripley. You got to ask yourself a question here. And look at this now. I was just about to say it. Is Rowdy going to go a little too rowdy and maybe get herself disqualified here, because this is a singles match. This is no rules. There are some rules here that you got to follow. One of which is the 10 count. And, not putting your opponent through a table would be a rule breaker, I assume. What the hell do I know? I'm just a commentator. But Rowdy Riles now gets back into the ring. Going to leave Rhea Ripley out there. Doesn't really care if she scores the pinfall, the count-out victory. She doesn't really care, as she will be taking on Rhea at Backlash, as well as Virgo Cool, as well as Stacey Hatch. And now, if I was that referee, I would make sure they're throwing open fists. You don't like those closed fists. This is supposed to be pro wrestling. This ain't boxing or MMA or bare-knuckle fighting. As now Rhea going to throw some closed fists of her own, this time to the midsection. Dropping Riles down. As now Riles slowly getting back up to her feet now. Wait a minute, we're going to see another riptide. I think we are. Rhea nails another riptide on a Rowdy Riles. Going for a cover here. 1, 2, and Riles kicks out again. Man, you got to be impressed. Got to tip your cap to Riles. Taking 2 of those riptides and kicking out already. But now I think Ripley's had enough of this. Really, Ripley might be setting up for that submission hold that she does. Wait a minute, what is she going to do here now? She got Rowdy up on her shoulder and drops her across the turnbuckle, snake eyes. Now stomping a mud hole in her ass, going to walk that shit dry. Ripley getting this crowd firmly behind her. Here we go. 1, 2, and Riles kicks out again. Rhea now getting furious, visibly frustrated with the referee. You can't blame her, but I wouldn't blame the referee at this point. I would be blaming Riles. And look at this now. Rhea now had enough. Going to lock her in that submission hold. She's got her. Is Riles going to tap? Is Riles going to tap? Riles taps out. Rhea Ripley is your winner, as she will take some momentum into in that fatal four-way #1 contendership for the Women's Championship. I'm highly impressed with this match. Both competitors have nothing to be ashamed of, as they put it all on the line and showed you why they are fighting at Backlash to go on to become the possible first WWF Women's Champion. Very impressed by both of them tonight. The chokeslam here on the outside. Thought that was going to do it, but it wasn't. It was this finishing maneuver right here. And Riles couldn't do nothing but tap out, as Rhea now heads to Backlash with some confidence. That's what it's all about. You want to build that confidence level. You want to make sure you go into those pay-per-views primed, focused, and ready to go. And Riles, while lost this match, I am sure will stay focused. And here you go, he's on his way to the ring.
Welcome to Figure Fight Club, where collectors come to play. Discussions from relevance to hot toys shaped by collecting weight. Pour a drink for yourself, collect your thoughts. Join us on this journey in action-packed talks. In the club, the fight is on. Action figures shine like the break of dawn. Collectors gather around, any drink will do. In Figure Fight Club, we welcome you. Welcome with the flow, with the flow. You're among collectors and like-minded peers. From stores to conventions, we take you backstage, exploring figures from modern day to the Stone Age. From the club, the fight is on. Action figures shine like the break of dawn. Collectors gather around, any drink will do. In Figure Fight Club, we welcome you. Welcome, what the fuck,
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. Uh-oh, you hear the music. The familiar strings of the Psycho Sid, although it is being said, it is said Sid Justice. I haven't seen that name in years. Sid Justice. I would even take Sid Vicious at this point. But I would always prefer Psycho Sid. He was always the best version of Sid. The Sid Vicious was good, but he was nowhere near as good as Psycho Sid. I don't care what anybody says. As Psycho Sid makes his way to the ring, the master and the ruler of the world, as he calls himself, 2 men enter, 1 man survives. And ladies and gentlemen, Sid is in for quite a challenge, as the man he's in the ring with is no slouch, the 6'10" Mason Rule. He's going to be making his way to the ring, making a debut here on the Monday Night Raw brand in solo competition, as he takes on Psycho Sid, or just Sid. I don't want to offend Sid. I don't want him to come up here and beat me with an inch of my life. As if you know any of the stories of Sid, you know he didn't play no bullshit with people. He would knock you out. There was a reason why they called him Psycho Sid. And Sid, this crowd is fired up to see the master and the ruler of the world make his WWF return from the Japan tour. And here we go. You hear that music? Mason Rule's going to make his way to the ring right now. Again, I apologize for being under the weather. I'm very sorry if I sound nasally.
And his opponent from Huntsville, Alabama.
And here he comes.
275 pounds. Big
Nasty. Mason Rule on his way to the ring. Making his way to the ring is Mason Rule. Now, there's a lot of talk around the locker room area, and a lot of people got their eye on this young man. They say he could make the perfect insurance policy. But I don't know if Mason Rule is looking to align himself with anybody. We don't know what the hell is going on right now as he's making his Raw debut tonight. He will not be going to WCW like Peter Moline. He will be staying on the Raw brand. As he is now in the ring, 6'10", 300 pounds. This young man is ready to make a name for himself here on Monday Night Raw. And he plans on doing it at the expense of Psycho Sid, Sid Justice, or Sid Vicious, one of those 3 names. He plans to make a name for himself out of. And I'm excited to see how this plays out, as Mason Rule will be taking on Psycho Sid. And here we go, waiting for the bell for these 2 behemoths to finally clash. I'm excited to see how this is going to play out, ladies and gents. And there you go. Oh, he tries to knock him down, but it doesn't work. And Sid puts him right down with a big-time clothesline. Now Sid going to put the boots to Mason Rule. As now Sid's going to work him over. Look at that, yanking out his face. These 2 behemoths going at it. But now look at the reversal. What is this now? Nico Tronis is watching in the back. Keeping a close eye on this match. What the hell is this about? Nico Tronis watching as Mason Rule makes his debut here for Monday Night Raw, the WWF brand. But look at this stare down between 2 behemoths. This is impressive action right here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us for this live shot. And I'm sorry about that. I'd blow my nose. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. Right? A lot of snot just now, and it all had to come out. And here we go now. Sid with the overhand chop. I'm very excited to see these 2 mammoths lock it up tonight on Raw. We all miss Sid as he took the tour of Japan with the rest of the legends. He is officially back. This guy, don't be surprised if as the weeks go on, we get a lot of drops from legends as they return from that Japan tour. Last week it was Ken Shamrock. This week it's Sid. And of course, like I said last week, Stone Cold Steve Austin sustaining a severe knee injury in that match, in that cage match with Tombone. But now Mason Rule thrown back into the ring by Psycho Sid. Now Sid steps right over that top rope with great ease. But now Mason Rule trying to knock him over, but can't. The power. Just two bulls, and now Sid drops Mason Rule right down. Gotta ask yourself a question. Does Mason Rule know what it's like to lock horns with the master and the ruler of the world in Psycho Sid? As Sid now drops him down in a big-time slam. And look at the power by Sid. Jacks up Mason Rule right off the mat and slams him. It looks like a chokeslam. What an enziguri by Rule. Showing some great athleticism as a big man. And now Sid firing back with a kick. And Sid Irish whip now off the ropes. He'll go for that big boot, but Mason Rule saw it coming. Stepped right out of the way. And now Irish whip back into the corner. These two men, these two behemoths. Look at this now. Sid sandwiches him right there into the corner. And now he's got him in what looks like what is that, a claw? Is that the claw? I forgot what that was called. The cranium crush. Or the skull crusher. We'll call it the skull crusher. Here we go, one. And a kick out by Mason Rule. I'm sure it has a name, but I'm you know. Some of these names escape me, I'm going to be quite honest with you. As Psycho Sid now is waiting for Mason Rule to get up to his feet. As you saw before, Nico Tronis watching intently. I think he might be what I was telling you about. A few people in the locker room lately have been talking about this young man, Mason Rule, and maybe trying to recruit him to their side. So as you saw before there, Nico Tronis watching intently, watching very closely to the monitor as Sid and Mason Rule take it to each other right here tonight. And let me tell you something, just as good as Mason Rule would be as an insurance policy, Psycho Sid has done it in the past for the likes of guys like Shawn Michaels and a couple of others. So let's not, if anybody wants to recruit Psycho Sid, I'm sure Psycho Sid would be up for the highest bidder. As now Psycho Sid going to dump Mason Rule. Oh, wait a minute, Rule with a beautiful chop block. Puts down Psycho Sid now. Wait a minute, go for a cover here. I don't think a chop block's going to do it. And it sure does him as he kicks out at one. And now, wait a minute, Mason Rule going to choke slam Sid right down to the canvas. Sid got a taste of his own medicine, two. And Sid just kicks out at two. Mason Rule thought that was it right there, as he delivered quite a devastating choke slam to Sid. But Sid kicked out, and now Sid back up to his feet now, and a big boot by Sid. So you gotta ask yourself a question here. Is Sid gonna go for the choke slam or the power bomb? Which one is he gonna do? I think it's the power bomb. Here we go. Psycho Sid gonna power bomb Mason Rule right down to the canvas. There he goes. That might do it right there. One, two, and Mason Rule kicks out of the power bomb, and Psycho Sid not impressed. Is he gonna power bomb him a second time? And no, wait a minute, Rule reverses it. Ain't gonna fall for that trick twice. As he now puts Psycho Sid down with a back body drop. And wait a minute now, is he gonna hit him with a power bomb of his own? Possibly that last ride. Here we go, last ride by Mason Rule. Going for a cover. One, two, and Sid kicks out now. Each one have taken each other's finishing maneuver and kicked out. As now Sid throws Mason Rule right in that corner with a suplex, or a suplex-style throw. And Mason Rule now a little frustrated, and kicked Sid in the head now. Going to go for what looks like a fireman's carry into a stun gun off the top rope. But Sid now angry, kicking Mason Rule off. Sid not impressed. As now Sid going to lock him up and tosses him back in the hard way. And now Sid is waiting again. What is Sid going to go for this time? But Mason Rule back to him before he can even react. And Mason Rule, nice clothesline in the corner. I'm impressed with the debut of Mason Rule. And I am sure right now Nico Tronis He's got a big smile on his face. In the back, I wonder what Nico Tronis is going to say to him. Look at the elbow. Look at this man displaying some athleticism off the top rope, being 6'10". 1, 2, and Rule almost got a 3 count there. The leg drop by Mason Rule. Now Mason Wade, he might be going for that last ride move. Wait a minute. He's going to go for something even worse. The tombstone power driver. He dumps Psycho Sid right on his head. Covering those arm shades of The Undertaker. 1, 2, and Sid kicks out of the tombstone power driver. As now Mason trying to go for an armbar, but it was a rope break. Sid might be in trouble. Wait a minute. I spoke too soon. And Sid big time boot. The Mason Rule smartly rolling to the outside. Get a breather. Begging Sid to follow him, and he does. And look at the power displayed, but look at Sid. Big time big boot by Sid. Wait a minute now. Sid's going to roll him back in the ring. Sid knows that's the only way to get the big time W here at the LSWA. You got to have him in between those ropes. And now wait a minute. Sid working over Mason Rule. Double axe handle to the back. We'll go for a cover here. 1, 2, and Mason Rule doesn't kick out of that double axe handle. You got to ask yourself a question. Maybe that big boot on the outside maybe knocked him for a loop. Maybe he really hit him in the mouth there. As you can see the replays here. These two men really knew each other well. Let me tell you something. If you were recruiting Mason Rule, Psycho Sid might have wound up on your list and didn't even expect it. Because I'm impressed with Sid tonight as Rule hit him with everything. He had a chokeslam, a powerbomb, and a tombstone, and he kicked out all of it and was able to get a big-time W over a debuting Mason Rule. Now, Mason Rule is nothing to be ashamed of after getting that L, because I'm sure in the weeks to come we're going to see this young man stack up dubs, especially if he aligns himself with Nico Tronis, who was watching very closely in the back. I wonder if that's the first guy Mason Rule runs into when he gets backstage. And let me tell you something, Psycho City is scoring that W as you saw the powerbomb. Man, oh man, Sid is back, and Sid is ready to dominate. So whoever comes out of Backlash, the WWF champion, and Tombone, you better be scared, because Sid is coming for you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a commercial break. And Tombone. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. As you are now hearing that song, you know who's coming to the ring now, American Made. It is Chad Gable, Ivy Nile, and the Creed brothers. As Kurt Angle has already headed out to Backlash as he's got a match with Nico Tronis for the Intercontinental Championship. So he's going to focus on that. He's going to let these boys handle the business. That Bourbon McJack. Last week, Chad Gable came out, laid out an open challenge as he was one of the young men who also came back from that Japan tour. And Bourbon McJack answered his challenge, and not only answered his challenge, but won, scored a big-time victory over Chad Gable. So now Brutus Creed said, don't worry, I'm going to avenge that one. And he said he's going to get it back. Question is, will he? Against that feisty, shisty sumbitch, Bourbon McJack. And if he does, something tells me this entire American-made squad is going to have something to do with it, as Chad Gable is not happy that Bourbon McJack scored a victory over him last week. Man, oh man, you got to thank Innis for these great theme songs. Thank you so much, Innis. And head over to his YouTube and his Instagram. Give him a follow, give him a subscribe. Like all his great music. What a musician he is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're awaiting their opponent. And here he comes. You know him as Bourbon McJack.
And his opponent.
Some of us in the locker room just call him Rosie.
Weighing in at
If you know, you know.
259 pounds, John.
But here he comes. Same scowl, just heading to the ring in his street gear. And he is ready to go. Bourbon McJack, love that damn theme song, let me tell you. All hail the legend of Bourbon McJack. That's right, the legend of Bourbon McJack goes as follows. The guy is a damn drunk and he'll fight you to the end of time. That's the legend. And this crowd, they love Bourbon McJack. Bourbon McJack ready to go. Let me tell you something. This guy has been on fire since he's been here. Scored a victory in his debut match against Brooks Jensen. Then last week scores an even bigger victory over Chad Gable. Question is now, with the odds stacked against him, with the uneven numbers, can McJack do it tonight against Brutus Creed as we now await the bell? Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a member. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Whoa! Brutus Creed now going to attack Bourbon McJack here. He'll really work over McJack. He now drops an elbow across the chest. And a nice senton bomb. Putting all his weight right on the chest and abdomen of Bourbon McJack. That could crack a rib. That could crack your sternum, for Christ's sake. Nice suplex by Brutus Creed. Let me tell you something. This American made, they got, thoroughbreds. Real blue chippers, if you will. Chad Gable, Brutus Creed, Julius Creed. Ivy Nile, and of course, led by the great Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle. That is a squad and a half, if you ask me. A nice shoulder block by Brutus Creed, dropping McJack down to the canvas here. Now Bourbon now seems to be out of it here. Oh, wait a minute. Bourbon might have been playing a little bit of possum here. Bourbon McJack waiting for him to come in and then jumped at the opportunity. And now here he comes. The clothesline in the back there. Bourbon McJack going for a cover here. One. And a kick out by Brutus Creed. Very impressed with both of these men so far. McJack answers every challenge that's put his way since he's debuted here at Monday Night Raw. You got to ask yourself a question, man. This young man might be finding himself in a title contention. As you know, next week, CM Punk, or this weekend, I should say, CM Punk takes on Kurt Hennig for the European Championship at Backlash. And a nice power slam by Bourbon McJack as he is now bouncing Brutus Creed's head off the canvas like a basketball. Now Bourbon McJack going back up to that top rope. They say he's wiry, and he misses the elbow. As now, Brutus now going to work him over with those knees to the head. The referee better check out on that as American Made is tossing weapons into the ring. They're tying the turnbuckle pad off the turnbuckle. The referee's getting a little annoyed. They better be careful. The referee can eject them from ringside if they get out of hand. And another gut-wrench suplex here by Brutus Creed. What power displayed by the All-American shoot-style wrestler. As he now hits the ropes here, and a nice neck breaker. As I said, that is just a standard at the LSWA at this point. Is that damn neck breaker. Now some chops here, and Brutus Creed puts him down with a nice shoulder tackle. Or shoulder block, whatever you want to put it. Now Brutus Creed back to the top rope and drops another big-time elbow right on the chest of Bourbon McJack. I'll tell you something, Brutus Creed right now, he's got to be impressed with Chad Gable as Ivy Nile now goes back to the top rope and takes the turnbuckle. Wait a minute, and smashes Bourbon McJack. Come on with that already. The numbers already playing against Bourbon McJack here. That is absolute ridiculousness. As now, Brutus Creed might have McJack right where he wanted. Might be going for that bomb maneuver, and he does, and McJack just steps right out of the way. McJack very annoyed. He's visibly screaming, and he had the Luthez press right on Brutus Creed as he is now firing off some punches, screaming over at American Made to mind their damn business. And he is talking, there he is right now, screaming at Ivy Nile that she needs to mind her own business and stay the hell out of his match. Get the hell out of here. He just wants to fight Brutus Creed, not the other ones on the outside. But you might not have a choice. You fight one, you fight them all. Now, Brutus Creed dumps him over with a beautiful Northern Lights release suplex. And now going to stomp at the head and go for a cover here. And now the ref just tossed Ivy Nile out of here. He just tossed Ivy Nile out of here. And she is very upset. Chad Gable trying to calm her down, telling her to leave. As Brutus now is on top of Mick Jack here. And he's going to go for a dirty cover. 1, 2. And Mick Jack just gets the kick out, luckily. Irish whip now off the ropes. Drop down. It didn't give her enough time. As he has now got Bourbon McJack in a bear hug. But has to let it go as Bourbon grabbed the rope. And now, wait a minute here. What power display by Brutus Creed with that deadlift German suplex. Dumps Bourbon McJack right on his head, but McJack just, I think he has more guts than a stunner by Bourbon McJack. That might do it right there. 1, 2. And Brutus just kicks out as American Made really jaw-jacking with the LSWA faithful. Telling them that that's not going to be the way it goes down tonight. American Made wants to get out of here with a W. As McJack now hits the ropes and a beautiful Mafia kick by Bourbon McJack. Puts down Brutus Creed. And a kick out by Brutus Creed. And now McJack going to stomp him on hole and walk it dry. McJack might be going for another Stone Cold Stunner. And no, but it's telegraphed by Brutus Creed. As Julius tries to distract Bourbon McJack again by swiping at his legs. Again, as you can see, the numbers game really taking an advantage here on Bourbon McJack. And a nice knee drop from the top rope, soared across the ring, almost coast to coast. Nailing a knee drop. And now he needs to stop jaw-jacking with Chad Gable and focus on Brutus Creed. He had him right where he wanted him, but he allowed Chad Gable to get his attention. And now Chad Gable, that might be all Brutus Creed needs here. As Brutus Creed slams him into the turnbuckle here. Wait a minute. Oh, man, I think that's it. I think that was the distraction that Brutus Creed was looking for. As now Brutus Creed goes to the top rope. And another big-time bomb maneuver right into Bourbon McJack. McJack is in big-time trouble here. Brutus going for a cover. 1, 2. And McJack just kicks out at 2. I thought that was definitely it. The numbers game definitely coming into advantage in this match tonight. Bourbon McJack cannot overcome the odds here. As, wait a minute now, Brutus might be going for another big-time maneuver there. And look at this now, right into the ropes. And oh, God, I don't think he's going to go for a bomb the third time. Is he going to bomb him a third time here? As now Brodus getting to the top rope. He's begging McJack, get up. McJack, stay down. Stay down. And no, he's going to hit him with a third bomb right off. Oh, jeez, that got to do it. McJack could not overcome the numbers here. 1, 2. And, of course, Brutus Creed gets the W over Bourbon McJack, courtesy of Chad Gable, providing a great distraction. Ivy Nile as well, but she got tossed for her troubles. The referee had enough. The referee should have tossed all 3 of them. Instead, focused more on Ivy Nile, and Chad Gable took that advantage to distract Bourbon McJack enough to give Brutus Creed the advantage to hit not only 1 but 3 of those big-time senton bomb maneuvers that he does. He went for a cover here, 1 and 2 and 3. Now, Bourbon McJack, I'm sure this is far from over between American Made and Bourbon McJack. But I am excited to see where this goes now, as Brodus Creed now survives Bourbon McJack with the help of his brother and Chad Gable, his mentor. Kurt Angle must be loving this as he's watching it from his airplane. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got so much more to come. Obviously, Up next, Jay Gonzo's going to make his way to the ring. Lately, he's been talking about gaining all the respect he can from all the legends here at the WWF as well as WCW. So I'm excited to see who he's going to call out next. But ladies and gentlemen, we have more action to come as well. The Handsome Snakes take on the Movement. The winner goes on to Backlash to take on the Dudley Boys.
When Chaparino steps into the ring, his heart is racing through the sting. With every cheer he's not alone, he knows the fight is all his own. He'll rise above, he won't back down. A lion spirit claim the crown. With fists up here on the night, through every stunning fight is what the crowd ignites. The voices loud, the fights are glory, nice and proud.
Whoa, wait a minute, what the hell's going on here? Radisson Vale attacks Kitsune. What the hell is this? We just came back from break and we saw this. Kitsune in deep trouble now as Radisson Vale ambushes her in the locker room, in the backstage area here, in the parking lot it looks like. And what is she doing here now? She's really taking it. Radisson Vale's really taking it to her cousin, and Kitsune had no answer, didn't know what was going on. She was on the phone with Tomebone. And well, my goodness, some of those Vale's really taking it to her cousin, that she is screaming right now. It was really offensive. I can't even say them. She's no! She just puts her through the table, and she blows her a kiss to see at Backlash. What the hell was that about? As now you hear the music from Jay Gonzo. Jeez, I don't know what the hell's going on with that. We better get some EMTs back there to check on Kitsune. As I was told, they were going to have a one-on-one competition at Backlash.
Making his way to the ring from San Diego, California, weighing in at 233.
And now Jay Gonzo is here. Enters the arena. I am told he requested some time on a microphone because he's been on a quest since he's gotten here to earn the respect of every single legend, win or lose. He's going to show everybody he deserves to be in this locker room. He deserves to be on this roster. And potentially a future champion. Now, I love the future for Jay Gonzo. It's very bright. I honestly believe that this young man could be the potential world champion of this promotion or any other promotion. Go to Nitro and dethrone Vince Steele if he really wanted to. The young man has got a fighting spirit, the likes of which I haven't seen in quite some time here. And it takes a very focused young man, a very focused individual to want to fight legends, guys who have been around for years, decades, and prove to not only them but himself that he is worthy of being here. And like I said, he's won 2 times. He's going to grab a mic. Let's see what he's got to say. Around for years, decades. I'm on a quest for respect. In the back, please come on out here. And let's very focused individual the respect. Let me tell you something. I am really highly impressed with Jay Gonzo. He's articulating how he is just a gentleman. And what is this? Oh, wait a minute. I told you Vic Foley. Cactus Jack was leaving. WCW and Mankind is here on Raw. Mankind has shown up here. What a match we're about to see here. The hardcore icon, the legendary Mick Foley, on his way to the ring as he takes on Jay Gonzo. Mick Foley, everybody knows, Mama Foley's baby boy. 3-time WWF World Champion. Multiple-time Total Nonstop Action World Champion. The man has been tag team champions with multiple tag team partners. The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and even others. Big Van Vader, if I'm not mistaken, and Kane as well. Foley has amassed quite the resume in the professional wrestling business, so he is quite a legend. Jay Gonzo got quite a tall task as he's about to take on Mankind, or Mick Foley, whatever the hell you want to call him. And here we go, Jay Gonzo fires off the shot first. A waist lock now. As you know, Mick Foley ain't the best chain wrestler, but he'll get it done when he needs to. As he now puts him down in a chin lock. Foley now going to make sure Listen, this is Foley's re-debut here at WWF as he went back to WCW as Cactus Jack. Didn't like the landscape of things. Waited for his contract to expire and then re-signed here at the WWF brand as Mankind again. As he is going one-on-one with the future star in Jay Gonzo. As now Gonzo really working over Mankind. And let me tell you something, every week Gonzo has shown us not only that the legend still means something to any wrestling roster they're on, but it's about earning their respect. If you earn their respect, you will earn the fans' respect as well. As 99% of the time, fans usually do follow the legends and how they feel about the young talent coming up. I don't want to say 99%. I'll say 90. Let's say 90%. Well, you got 10% of morons. And here we go now. Walking him back into the corner. Jay Gonzo definitely not intimidated at all by Mick Foley here. Now go for a cover here. 1, 2. And Foley just kicks out. And Jay Gonzo now setting up something here. Is he going to go for that attitude adjustment already? No, instead just hammers an overhand punch right to the face of Mick Foley. And now Foley going for a cover here. 1. But Jay Gonzo reverses it. 1. And Foley kicks out again at 1. And Gonzo drops a forearm right across the head of Foley. And an elbow now across the back of Mick Foley. Trying to stomp out the legs of Foley. Hey, listen, Jay Gonzo has really shown me that he knows what he's doing in that ring. He knows what he's got to do to get the job done as well. Nice DDT off the second rope by Gonzo. Gonna go for a cover here. 1. And a kick out by Jay Gonzo. Now Gonzo drops an elbow right across the chest of Mick Foley. And he's gonna stomp out Foley. And now Foley playing a little bit of possum. The last thing Jay Gonzo wants to do is be on the receiving end of a mandible claw. Or, of course, a double-arm DDT. Mick Foley, one of the best character wrestlers I have ever seen in my entire life. Being a professional wrestling fan, being involved in the professional wrestling business, this man has been able to evolve with the business every chance he got. A kick out by Jay Gonzo, almost scored a big-time victory over the future of the LSWA, Jay Gonzo. Now look at this Foley. Oh, no, wait, Gonzo reverses it. Gonzo now, nice springboard cutter. Going for a cover here. 1. And a kick out by Mick Foley. Foley, I was told today, he's just happy to be back here in the WWF. Oh, look at this 5-knuckle shuffle by Jay Gonzo. Puts it right down on Foley. And here we go. 1, 2. And a kick out by Foley. Gonzo now not impressed at all. Gonzo knows what he's got to do to put down a guy like Mick Foley. Listen, we've seen Foley get thrown off this Hell in the Cell 20 feet in the air through a table. We've seen him choke slam through a cell. We've seen him on tacks, barbed wire, flaming tables, you name it. Foley has probably been through it. So it's going to take a lot more than a 5-knuckle shuffle to put Foley down. And now he's got him in an STFU right now. This could do it. Will Foley tap out? And that is a resounding no. As Foley now reverses the STF, getting out of it. There we go. He just pulled out Sacco. Mandible claw. Foley's got the mandible claw on Jay Gonzo. But Gonzo now firing some shots off just in time, trying to get out of that. As Foley pulls off Sacco and puts it right back in his trunks. And who the hell wants to get that sock stuffed down their throat? I have no clue. As Gonzo now a little angry at the fact that he almost sustained a big-time L at the hands of Sacco. Now Jay Gonzo going to go to the top rope here. And a nice elbow drop by Jay Gonzo right across the head and neck of Mick Foley. And now Gonzo going to hit those ropes, going to go for that Mafia kick and puts Foley down. And look at this now, shoulder tackle. Another shoulder tackle. Jay Gonzo about to hit those 5 moves of doom here. Look at this Blue Thunder Bomb. Bang. Puts them down. Is he about? I thought he was about to go for another 5-knuckle shuffle. And here he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. You can't see him. Here he goes. He's going to hit those ropes. And another 5-knuckle shuffle. This time busts Mick Foley wide open. And Gonzo, I thought he was going to go for a cover. Instead, he's going to go for another STFU. He wants to tap out Foley. But Foley will not tap out. He will not say those words, "I quit." I think the only time we heard Foley say the words "I quit" was in 2005 at SummerSlam. Or 2006 was one of those years. As now Gonzo locks it on again, but Foley just refuses to quit here. Back elbows to the face of Jay Gonzo. And now overhand shots here. As Foley now Irish whip a reverse by Gonzo. And now Gonzo drop kick and puts Foley down. And Foley falls face first or head first right on the concrete. Gonzo now going to the top rope, pointing to one of his faithful fans here at the LSWA as he now does cross body onto Mankind and drops a forearm right across the face of Foley. I don't think Foley expected this kind of fight out of Jay Gonzo. As Gonzo, as I said before, is on an absolute mission to prove to everybody that he deserves to be on this roster. And if you watch matches like this, you gotta say, yeah, he does. As now Gonzo going to the second rope now, waiting for Foley to get up here. And he's gonna go for what looked like a shoulder tackle, but Foley moved right out of the way there. Foley's got, wait a minute. What a punch to the face of Jay Gonzo. That's Foley now. Thought he was going to go for the mandible claw again. But Gonzo able to break it up real quick. And now Foley trying to get back on the advantage. Nice $1 million knee lift by Mick Foley. As now Foley deciding on what he wants to do here. Now wait a minute. Jay Gonzo now, nice sidewalk slam by Jay Gonzo. Jay Gonzo now going to go to the top rope here. What a splash by Jay Gonzo. As he now waits for Foley to get up to his feet. He might be going for that attitude adjustment. No, yes he is. What a way to do that. Whoa! What power display. Foley is 387 pounds. 1, 2, and there is your winner, Jay Gonzo. That definitely earns his respect for sure, ladies and gentlemen. Gonzo picks up another big-time victory. Let's see some of that replay action. As Foley returns to the WWF against Jay Gonzo in what could be a match of the year candidate. As these two men not only prove to themselves that they deserve mutual respect, but prove to this entire LSWA roster that they are definitely worthy of the respect they so rightfully deserve. As you are seeing a 5-knuckle shuffle here, Jay Gonzo definitely, the Jay Gonzo star seems to continue to rise here. And you gotta ask yourself a question. Will this man, when, not even when he find himself standing across from a champion? And Gonzo is your winner, ladies and gentlemen. Highly impressed with this young man. And now Foley, wait a minute. Gonzo gonna go for that handshake. Sportsmanship always, and there it is right there, Foley. Highly impressed, gonna raise the hand of Jay Gonzo. Foley, I am so impressed. I thank God Mick Foley returned. I love him. And I'm excited to see him return here. But we got more action to come here. So much more action to come. As Gonzo celebrating that ring as Foley returned. I said in his ear, but he just left and fired Gonzo up. Jay Gonzo. That's why we cut back to him. I'm happy to see Gonzo fired up here on WWF, ready to go. Returned. Like I said, you're going to find that young man sooner or later. But coming up next, the Handsome Snakes take on the Movement. The winner goes on to take on the Dudley Boys.
She speaks to the spirits in
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And here we go. The Movement's going to head to the ring. The winner of this will take on the Dudley Boys for the tag team titles at Backlash. And here comes the Movement right now.
Is a tag team match set for one fall. On the way to the ring, at a combined weight of 606 pounds, the Superstar Jackson and FNB.
Jamal Jackson and FNB. The Movement heading to the ring right now. They're ready to go. They know what an opportunity this is. They will be taking on the Dudley Boys, the current reigning and defending WWF World Tag Team Champions. Both of these tag teams highly impressive as of late. These two teams will take each other on right now. Like I said, there is so much competition growing at the LSWA. It's hard to tell who is worthy of what. So these guys, the only way to do this is to settle it in the ring. As the Movement now awaits the arrival of the Handsome Snakes, Python the Python and Blake Tarpley. Handsome Blake Tarpley. And here we go. Out comes Python the Python and Blake Tarpley dancing behind him.
And
they are ready to go.
At a combined weight of 512 pounds, the Snake and Handsome Blake.
Handsome
Vicious
Blake.
And Delicious.
As you heard, their tag team nickname, the Handsome Snake, Vicious and Delicious. Python the Python and Handsome Blake Tarpley are here, ready to go, ready to take the LSWA by storm. And the only way to do that is to capture the WWF Tag Team titles. The question is, will they be able to knock off the Movement to get to the Dudleys, to get to the tag titles? As Jamal Jackson and Python the Python will start off your match right here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a member. And thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to sit here and watch virtual pro wrestling, courtesy of Legend Series. And thank you very, very much. You can do anything else with your time, and the fact that you can sit here and watch this only means that A, you want to, and B, you like doing it. So thank you. I appreciate you very, very much for that. And oh, look at that, Blake Tarpley with a cheap shot to Jamal Jackson, but Jamal now going to take out his frustrations on Python the Python here in the trapezius claw. Dropping Python down to his knees here. As I said before, these two tag team very impressive as of late here at the LSWA. The Movement, highly decorated tag team in the independent promotions on the East Coast. And wait a minute now, back elbow by Python. Python goes for a roll-up here. 1, 2, and a kick out by Jamal Jackson. Not going to let that happen. As now Jamal with a look at a power display as he just puts down Python the Python in a beautiful scoop slam. As now Jamal Jackson, Irish whips him into the corner. We're going to see some tag team maneuvering here from the Movement. These two men. And here we go. Drop toe over the nice elbow. Drop to the back of the head of Python the Python. As look at this now. FNB going to give Blake Tarpley a receipt for that cheap shot. Bringing in Tarpley the hard way, but Tarpley going to fight back a little bit and get out of that ring. FNB does not play that bullshit. And look at the power display by the fat, nasty bastard. Right in front of Blake Tarpley, drops his tag team partner. And literally just staring a hole through Blake Tarpley as he puts the punishment to Python the Python. And now tags back in Jamal Jackson and Blake Tarpley finally getting a tag in here. Look at this now. Tarpley has been fired up. And look at this now, leans into the corner and talks some smack to the Movement. And I don't think that was a smart move. Jamal Jackson not playing that. As now Jackson going to work over Blake Tarpley's leg. And now wait a minute here. Oh, overhand punch, right hand, right to the head of Blake Tarpley. And now, FNB here, going to Irish whip Blake to the corner. We might get some more tag team maneuvers here. Look at this now. Hold him off into the corner, cutting that ring off. Smart tag team wrestling here. On the part of the Movement as Jamal Jackson Tried to slap on a sleeper hold on a Blake Tarpley, but Blake just grabbing the ropes in time. And that frustrated Jamal Jackson. 1, 2, and a kick out by Blake Tarpley. Ladies and gentlemen, Blake Tarpley, Mython the Python, have already fought the Dudleys before, took them to their absolute max, almost beat them. But the Dudley boys were able to score the pinfall victory and go home still your WWF Tag Team Champions. And of course, the movement have been moving up the ranks and said, hey man, they already got their shot. Why are they getting another shot? So the Handsome Snake said, hey, we'll fight you, and if we win, we'll get our shot again anyway. So Adam Pearce, Nick Aldis said, hell, let's do it. And here we are on Monday Night Raw as the movement takes on the Handsome Snakes in a #1 contender match. It's an Irish whip off the ropes. They're into the corner. As Mython now overhand punches. But wait a minute, Malik now. Jamal Jackson firing off some shots of his own. Now stomping out. Mython the Python. Python fighting back a little bit here. Maybe an Irish whip now. Wait a minute, reverse Irish whip now into the corner. And a toss into the corner. Jamal Jackson displaying some serious power, and Blake Tarpley just breaks up that count. That could have been it right there, and now that was the advantage that Mython needed there. A nice hip toss by Mython the Python puts Jamal Jackson down. Gonna go for a tag here to his tag team partner, Handsome Blake Tarpley. Now Irish whip off the ropes. Drop down. And a knee to the stomach right there. Tarpley gonna go for a cover here. 1, 2, and a kick out by Jamal Jackson. Jamal Jackson needs to get a tag to FNB. He needs to get the fresh man back in this ring. As now Blake Tarpley gonna cut the ring off here. Gonna tag in Mython. Here they go. Giving him a taste of their own medicine now. As now Mython going to display some serious power on Jamal Jackson. What a power slam. Throwing him around like a rag doll. And now Mython just going to watch as he tags in FNB because that's who he really wanted. And FNB with a beautiful running DDT. As now Mython in some serious trouble. As FNB just sits right on the chest of Mython and now drops an elbow. Oh man, FNB now going to the top rope. And a knee drop to the chest, to the sternum of Mython. 1, 2, and Blake Tarpley just breaks that up again. Ladies and gentlemen, Blake Tarpley and Mython the Python might be in for a rude awakening. They might be in some trouble here. As I thought they might have thought this might have been a little easier than they bargained for. FNB now going to run it. Oh, almost sandwiched him, but Mython just moved out of the way and drop kicks FNB down. FNB now Irish whipped off the ropes into the corner. That's that corner he doesn't want to be in. He's in that Handsome Snakes now. Handsome Blake Tarpley getting in the ring. And Blake Tarpley now going to fire off a shot to the midsection there. As FNB doesn't play that bullshit, as I said before. But wait a minute, neither does Blake Tarpley, it seems. As Blake puts FNB back into that corner. And throws a knee right to the face of FNB. Now, wait a minute. Irish whip off the ropes. So wait a minute, the referee gets in the way. And that was what FNB needed. I think FNB uses the ref as a distraction. Just get right back on the offensive. And wait a minute now. Gonna tag him in now. What are we gonna do here? The Jamal Jack double axe handle to the arm of Blake Tarpley. Is now, wait, what are we going to see here? Blake's got him in a wheelbarrow and a double axe handle to the lower back, the surgically repaired back of Jamal Jackson. And a big time splash by Mython the Python. Now going for another tag. This is the smart way to do it. Keep the fresh man in. Tag Team Wrestling 101. And a sleeper hold applied by handsome Blake Tarpley. Going to try to put Jamal Jackson, night. Wait a minute, Jamal Jackson with a beautiful jawbreaker to break out of it. Now fireman's carry by Jamal Jackson. And look at the power. We're doing for a military press, but Blake reverses it into a sunset. Well on. And just kicks out, does Jamal Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you so much for being a member. Thank you so much for enjoying this content. I appreciate it more than you know. Look at this now. What a maneuver. That is their finishing maneuver right there. Go for it all. 1, 2. And FNB just breaks it up. Jamal Jackson was in some serious trouble there. That could have spelt the end for the movement. As now Mython going to Irish whip Jamal Jackson back off the ropes and now picks him up in what looked like a sidewalk slam, but Jamal Jackson need him right in the face to get out of it. And a big time boot by Jamal Jackson. 1, 2, and Blake Tarpley breaks it up again. That could have been it. As the movement now getting a little frustrated at the fact that the ref keeps, well, wait a minute now. Jamal Jackson choke slams Mython the Python right down to the canvas. That might do it right there. All he's got to do is cover him, but he's not. He's just screaming at Blake Tarpley. And now Mython the Python, that might have been the break that Mython needed. As now Irish whips off the ropes again. Drop down, and a big time boot by Mython the Python. Going to go for a cover here. 1, 2, and Jamal Jackson just kicks out of the big boot. I'll tell you what, Mython put a lot of steam behind that one. Might have knocked a couple of teeth out of Jamal Jackson's mouth. As now Mython going to go to the top rope here. Screaming something at that fan. And now Mython with a beautiful flying clothesline to the outside. Drops down Jamal Jackson and just leaves him and punches FNB right in the face. Well, these two teams have exchanged a lot of words in the last couple of hours since this match has been set up. And look at this, brings in FNB the hard way. As now Jamal Jackson's back in the ring. A big boot by Mython the Python. Mython the Python going to Irish whip Jamal Jackson back into that corner. You got to ask yourself a question. Will Mython and Blake, oh wait a minute, I think they're going to hit that move again. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. This time it's Blake Tarpley going for a cover here. This might do it. That's their finishing maneuver right there. 1, 2, and going to backlash is the Handsome Snakes going to fight for the WWF Tag Team titles against the Dudley Boys. As you see here in the replay, these guys really, this is what the LSWA Tag Team division is made out of. I'm highly impressed with both of these teams tonight, as they are proving why they will. And let me tell you something, if the Handsome Snakes somehow pull out a victory over the Dudley Boys, when will we see this rematch? Only time will tell, but I'm telling you, I'm excited to see where this goes, as this was one hell of a match between the Movement and the Dudleys. And now they are primed and ready to be your tag team champions. But can they knock off the legendary 25-time tag team champions, the Dudley Boys? Don, you have a job to do tonight. You're going to take on Rob Van Dam, and then after Rob Van Dam, you're going to Slamboree to do what you need to do, okay? Because I wanted to bring that Justin Booth in, and we're going to bring him in. Adam Pearce is a moron. I'll make the decisions around here. You understand? So you're going to go over to Slamboree. You're going to help Justin Booth. He's going to come here, and that's going to be the way it goes down. I'm done. I'm out of here. Get the job done against Rob Van Dam, please, because he's another one who annoys me.
Idiots! Incompetent buffoons! What is it now, Commander? Consummate morons, incapable of coherent thought! Are you watching that show again? Yes. Why didn't you just watch Pop Blender and Matthew's discussions, news, reviews before the show came out? Whether you agree or disagree, the perspectives provide enough context to know if the show or movie is worth your time or not. Yes, I know. I will not miss another Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central on Pop Blender's channel. Be more than once a man by watching Pop Blender and Matthew talk about pop culture news, discussions, and reviews on Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. And now you know. Televiber, be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe so we do not miss another episode. And hit that bell notification.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Of course, you can catch Pop Blender and Matt Matson every Tuesday night over on Pop Blender's channel as they bring you the evening blend. And right now, Virgo Cool is heading to the ring, and she will be taking on Stacey Hatch in a one-on-one competition. This weekend at Backlash, Rowdy Riles, Rhea Ripley, Virgo Cool, and Stacey Hatch will all be in a fatal four-way competition to determine one number one contender who will take on another number one contender. And then we will crown a new women's champion. Right now, Virgo Cool rolling into the ring like a cool breeze, ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for joining us here at the LSWA. Thank you again for understanding the fact that I've been severely sick. This has been much harder than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was just going to be able to talk no problem. But bloody hell, this has been much harder than I thought it was going to be. I just hope I'm ready for Slamboree this weekend. Thought it was going to be. I thought I was just going to be able to talk no problem. Here you go, you're hearing the music of Stacey Hatch. She's going to head to the ring right now and take on Virgo Cool. I just hope I'm
Kentucky.
Slamboree this weekend. Thought it was very best Stacey Hatch on her way to the ring right now. But bloody hell, this has been much harder than I thought it was going to be. And here we go. I just hope I'm Slamboree this weekend. Thought it was going to be. I thought I was just going to be able to talk no problem. As you're aware, Peter Moline was drafted or traded to WCW. I just hope I'm this week. Slamboree this weekend. Upon his debut, I thought I was just going to be able to talk on Monday Night Raw. Starting next week, he will be on the WCW brand, and the WWF brand will now be getting I just hope I'm a couple. Slamboree this weekend. Thought it was starting with Justin Booth. That was the deal. But bloody hell, this has been much harder than I thought. Pleaded a case to Eric Bischoff for bringing in Peter Moline to join the Figure Fight Club. Slamboree this weekend. Thought it was what he saw from Peter Moline talk no problem before he even saw it. But bloody hell, this has been much harder than I thought it was going to be. So starting next week, Peter Moline will be on the WCW brand, and Justin Booth after Slamboree. So Justin Booth has one more thing he's got to handle. And that whole thing came to a head last when the Figure Fight Club won their tag team match against the Hooligans, and now will take on the Blackjacks for the WCW tag titles. So Alpha Red and Peter Moline will bring in a special, a surprise mystery partner against Justin Booth, the Saponi Werewolf, and as you just heard, Don Curvin, as well as a special mystery opponent of Justin Booth's choosing. It'll be interesting to say the least. Ladies and gentlemen, as that goes down, very best Stacey Hatch and Virgo Cool find themselves in a stalemate here in the ring. And I gotta say, you gotta tip your cap to the ability here and the chain wrestling ability of all of the LSWA wrestlers. As I said before, they train very hard at their respective training facilities. A lot of them come to the Gimmick Factory, but some of them have gone on to the Dungeon. They've gone to Killer Kowalski School, the Monster Factory. They've gone to the Samoans, Booker T, Reality of Wrestling. They've all come from all over. The LSWA, this is the only place where you can get the best wrestling competition, virtually, of course. As now, look at that, Stacey Hatch really getting violent with Virgo Cool. She wants to get the hell out of here with a victory. Wants to kind of roll in like Rhea did, roll into Backlash with some momentum in that fatal four-way match. And this is the perfect way to do this. You kind of scout your opponent. Even if you win or lose, you still kind of scout your opponent going into next week. As the referee now breaks that up. And what a sweep out of the legs does Stacey Hatch. Oh, now look at this now, stomping out Virgo Cool. We're going to go to the top rope now. Now look at this. Stacey Hatch waiting for Virgo Cool to get up now. What a maneuver by Stacey Hatch. Puts down Virgo. Goes for a cover here. 1. And a kick out by Virgo Cool. Now, wait a minute. Irish whip now into the ropes. And a drop kick by Stacey Hatch. Puts down Virgo. Now going to work over the hands of Virgo Cool. Make sure she can't hit you with patented maneuvers. You can't grab somebody. Can't lock any holds. Can't lock any maneuvers. I feel bad for you. If anybody's had any surgery on their arm or hand and know what it's like when you can't use it. It's very annoying. And a big-time knee drop off the top rope by Stacey Hatch. That might do it. Virgo Cool's completely out. As now look at this. Look at that now moving. Whoa! Puts her right down and goes for a cover here. 1, 2, and a kick out. Impressed by Virgo Cool to be able to kick out of that maneuver. As Stacey Hatch is just waiting for her to get back up to her feet now. Look at this now. Going to choke her out here. She's going to choke her out. She's going to grapevine her here. Look at this now. Kata Hajime locked in tight. But Virgo not able, Stacey not able to put Virgo down. Impressed with Virgo. Look at this now. Virgo, what a drop kick. Purely instinctive there as she was almost choked out and slammed right on her head a second ago. Now Irish whip off the ropes here. Going for that JYD thump. But Stacey Hatch saw it coming and stopped it before it was too late. And look at this now. Virgo now going to try. I thought she was going to try to do something here. Try to bait her to come outside. And it seems as though if these two women might really know each other well. What an itsuguri by Virgo. Now Virgo trying to get this LSWA crowd firmly behind her. She's going to go for a springboard crossbody and nails it. Nice rolling leg drop. And Stacey now tries to get a breather, but Virgo right on top of her with a knee right to the face and now working all those legs. Look at that, kicks right to the face. Oh, Jesus. That'll definitely knock a couple of teeth out. I don't care who you are. As now Virgo back to the top rope. I'll tell you something, this fan in the corner has been getting an earful from all the wrestlers. What a crossbody by Virgo. And a spear by Stacey Hatch. Stacey Hatch furious with that crossbody. Fires right back up on instinct and just oh, Jesus. Throws Virgo Cool right into the right into the pole. That's Concussion City where I come from. And now I think Virgo might be regretting going outside with Stacey Hatch because Stacey, now look at this. Whoa, just drops Virgo Cool head first right onto the concrete floor. I know there's padding there, but it's still concrete under it. Is now Stacey going to throw Virgo. Toss her out, not even care. And wait a minute now. Stacey now going to the top rope. And a big time elbow right across the chest of Virgo Cool. My word, Stacey Hatch has had a violent streak to her since she's arrived here at the LSWA. All she's wanted to do was punch people's lights out, really hurt them. And she's done just that, honestly. As Virgo just responding back now. Hopefully she just answers the count. And now Stacey Hatch going to stay right on top of Virgo. Virgo's in bad shape here. Oh, what a spine buster by Stacey Hatch. As now Stacey goes to the top rope here. Stacey calling, begging Virgo to get back up to her feet. Double axe handle puts Virgo Cool down. Goes for a cover here. 1, 2. And a kick out by Virgo Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, Stacey Hatch is really showing this LSWA locker room that she is not a lady to be trifled with. She has been violent since the bell rang. Look at this now. She's going to choke out Virgo again. She's trying to choke out Virgo yet again. Virgo might not have much left in the tank here, ladies and gentlemen. She might be tapping here. This might be done. Wait a minute. Stacey just gave up there. Said, screw it. I want to do some more punishment, it seems. And drops the double axe handle right across the chest of Virgo. And she now hits the ropes. Let me guess. Neck breaker? Oh, no. I thought she was going to hit another neck breaker. And Virgo now flying forearm just out of instinct, trying to put Stacey Hatch down, trying to keep her away from her so she can get some air. And look at this now. Going for what looks like a submission hold here. She's got her. Will Stacey tap out? No, Stacey now going to reverse this. Knees to the head. Virgo now in deep trouble, as I said before. Irish whip now. Whoa, what a maneuver by Stacey Hatch. And now Stacey Hatch is going to go for that slam maneuver. There it is. Bang, she nailed it. That might do it right there. 1, 2, and Stacey Hatch scores the victory. Hatch is going to go for that. Ladies and gentlemen, what a match between Virgo Cool and Stacey Hatch. Look at this athleticism by Virgo. Right here, highly impressive. The strength and everything. Of offensive maneuvers on the outside. Virgo Cool in. She never an and then of course a second. Going home tonight with a big elbow, your winner. Rope. Very best. And of course, a second one of these maneuvers. And that will do it for anybody. She's got a lot of work cut out for her, which gets the backlash. Going home tonight with a big time W. Rowdy Riley, of course, Virgo Cool. And I'm excited to see how this plays out. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Up next, Don Curvin is going to take on Rob Van Dam in one-on-one competition before he heads on over to the WCW brand to help Justin Booth. And then, of course, in your main event, Artie Bucco says he has somebody who's going to help him against J1's and Brandon Matthews. Who that could be, we don't know. But right now, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, Rob Van Dam takes on The Butcher. And as you see, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And here we go, the Butcher of Canadavar. Don Curvin going to head to the ring right now to take on the whole effing show, Mr. Monday Night, Rob Van Dam. As here he comes to the ring. Great theme song. Here he comes. Don Curvin, of course, representing the pre-roll crew. Tombone, Kitsune, and Tombone's newest member of the pre-roll crew who debuted at the Gimmick Factory a couple weeks ago. Bobby Sapphire, longtime friend. Tombone and Bobby Sapphire were original tag team in the Independents as the Messiahs of Wrestling. Tombone knew that ever since everybody is now all of a sudden teaming up with each other and forming alliances, whether it's the 3POA, whether it's the Figure Fight Club, whether it's the Mega Power, whoever it is, Tombone knew that he had to assemble an army of his own to make sure that the pre-roll crew stays on top of the mountain here on the Raw brand at least. So he went out, he reached out to one of his longtime friends, Bobby Sapphire. Bobby Sapphire, if you think Don Curvin is violent, just wait. So Bobby Sapphire makes his way to Monday Night Raw. And I am excited to see what happens when Don Curvin and Bobby Sapphire team up. But here we go, as he now awaits the whole effing show, and you know that song, Pantera. Respect Walk. The whole effing show, Mr. Monday Night.
From Battle Creek, Michigan, weighing in at 235 pounds, Rob Van Dam.
Rob Van Dam has made his way into the ring. He's ready to go. Van Dam, former WWE champion, former TNA champion, former ECW champion. This man has virtually done it all everywhere he's gone. There is a reason why they call him the whole effing show. That is not just a moniker. At one point, he literally was ECW. There was nobody else. As here we go, Don Curvin, Rob Van Dam locking up one-on-one. I'm excited to see how this plays out. Let's go. Mike Chioda rings that bell. As Rob Van Dam now going to lock up, and beautiful German suplex by Rob Van Dam right on to Don Curvin. Starting out this match real quick. And like I said before, thank you so much for being a member of LSWA of Legends Series. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this. Again, I apologize for getting sick. But apparently, it started out as the flu, turned into walking pneumonia. Had no idea what was going on with me the last couple weeks. It got so bad it affected my actual spinal area, as I do have issues with my spine and neck. But here we go. Rob Van Dam now going to lock up with then I got him in an arm bar. Don Curvin. And now Curvin going to reverse that into his arm bar and slams Van Dam with the power and ease. Now, Rob Van Dam, I don't think Rob Van Dam, whatever everybody's going to say, Rob Van Dam might not win this match. He might just survive this match because Curvin, there's a reason why they call him the Butcher. He cuts you down. He wears you out. He minces you. He tenderizes you. You know, all the cliche Butcher comments. That's what he does. So here he is. Really now stomping him on. Oh, wait a minute now. Going to jack out Van Dam out of the corner, slam him right off the back of his head. Is Don Curvin, one of the most angriest men I've ever seen in the LSWA locker room. The guy never smiles, always has a scowl on his face, and is never happy. But Tombone is the same way. Tombone loves it that way because he wants to make sure his guys are miserable because that's the way you delve out the most violence. That's the way you delve out the most amount of punishment, by being miserable and hating everybody in front of you. As you can see right now, as Curvin is doing to Rob Van Dam. Drops, big time headbutt. And snapping out on this crowd here in Omaha, Nebraska. As he now goes to the top rope now, Curvin might be going for that shoulder tackle. And no, instead it goes for a double axe handle. Puts Van Dam down. Going for a cover here. 1, 2. And a kick out by Rob Van Dam. The whole effing show. Going to take more than a double axe handle. That might work for Jimmy King. Ain't going to work on Rob Van Dam, I'll tell you that right now. Rob Van Dam has had some absolute classics. If you're new to pro wrestling and you want to know more about Rob Van Dam, I highly recommend watching his matches against Jerry Lynn from ECW. I highly recommend watching his matches against Sabu, against Taz, against Bam Bam Bigelow, how he became the television champion. Rob Van Dam has had some banger matches. And, of course, when he came to WWF against some of those guys, I mean, just pick a number, pick a wrestler. Him versus Guerrero, him versus anybody. It was always good. Nice neck breaker by Don Curvin. And, of course, you can go to WWE Vault on YouTube and watch those matches. You can go on WCW YouTube and watch some matches. I'm assuming at some point they will be releasing an ECW Vault. At some point, it has to happen. He drops down a knee right across the neck of Van Dam. As now Van Dam going to roll right into the waiting arms of Don Curvin. As now Curvin's got him. Right by his face, it seems now, but Rob Van Dam not going to play that shit. Van Dam now going to snake eyes him right across the apron. Is Van Dam now going to work the tree trunk legs of Don Curvin. Van Dam now just stomping out. Oh, wait a minute, what's he going to do here? Oh, am I going to see Rolling Thunder by Rob Van Dam? Patented Rob Van Dam. The Rolling Thunder. Now, but no, Don Curvin sweeps the leg and drops Van Dam right across the concrete there. As he just tosses him like a sack of potatoes towards the guardrail. Now he screams to the heavens. I wonder what Curvin's got planned here. Curvin, I think he's going to put him right back in the ring. Curvin wants to get this done in the ring. Tomebone said, get this done before you head off to Slamboree to help Justin Booth. Tomebone recently told Adam Pearce about Justin Booth after calling a Gimmick Factory match for me while I was out on assignment. And Tomebone said to Adam Pearce, "Oh, you need to start bringing in some cruiserweights." And Adam Pearce says, like who? And he said, Justin Booth. And Tomebone worked out a deal. He's actually one of the brokers for Adam Pearce and Eric Bischoff to speak about this massive trade where they get Peter Moline and in return we get a couple of cruiserweights. Nice maneuver by Don Curvin. Rob Van Dam might be in some serious trouble here. Gonna roll Rob Van Dam right into the center of the ring. He might be going for that Capo's Nightmare. Instead, gonna try to wrench the arm right out of the socket. But if I was Don Curvin, I would really be working those legs. The man, now look at that, he just put him right up into the Capo's Nightmare. He's trying to choke out Van Dam right now. He's trying to choke out Rob Van Dam right now. But Van Dam. And another big-time headbutt by Don Curvin. Rob Van Dam won't give up. He won't quit. You'd have to choke him out. It'll really hurt him. 2. And a kick out by Van Dam. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for watching this. I appreciate you. You can be doing anything else with your time, but you're watching this or you're patronizing me. It's one or the other. But either way, a view is a view is a view. And here we go. Kicks to the stomach now. And look at this now. Snapmare kicks to the back. Rob Van Dam now going to really work over Curvin. 1. And a kick out by Don Curvin. Now Don Curvin smashes him right into the corner there. And tosses him right back into the center of the ring here. What's Don Curvin about to do here? And a nice flying headbutt off the second rope right into the abdomen section. He's going back to the top rope is Don Curvin. Curvin not so educated up there as Rob Van Dam is. And used his brain and didn't stay up there too long. Realized, what the hell am I doing? I got this guy right where I want him. And oh man, I think he just broke Rob Van Dam's nose as Van Dam came down face first right across that canvas. Had no way of blocking his fall, but wait a minute now, Van Dam. And another reversal by Curvin, cutting him right off. Curvin, highly impressive in this match tonight against Rob Van Dam. And another Capo's Nightmare. He's going to try to choke out Rob Van Dam right now. Capo's Nightmare, he's got it locked in, he's got a grapevine. But Van Dam just won't give up, like I said before. Part of that extreme mentality from ECW. You're going to have to crush his larynx in order to get him to tap. And I don't think Don Curvin has a serious problem with that. I think Don Curvin would love to collapse the larynx of Rob Van Dam. But if you break Rob Van Dam's mouth, oh no, another Rolling Thunder by Rob Van Dam. And now Van Dam going to go to the top rope. We're about to see a 5-star frog splash. And we are 5-star frog splash by RVD. Here we go. 1, 2, and a kick out by Don Curvin. Rob Van Dam can't believe it. As he is now waiting for Curvin to get back up to his feet now. And a nice springboard moonsault. And RVD now stomping at Curvin. And another rolling type thunder. This time, instead of the rolling, he just gave you the thunder. As now Curvin smartly rolls to the outside. But Van Dam will not be denied tonight. Wait a minute, what's Oh, geez, what's Van Dam going to do? Van Dam just DDT'd Curvin right on the apron. That might have been the advantage that Van Dam needs. Going to roll him right back in the ring here. If Van Dam was smart, he'd go for a 5-star frog splash and another beautiful springboard moonsault. And Van Dam, oh, wait a minute. I think I might have, yeah, here we go. Rob Van Dam might be going for another 5-star frog splash, and he does. Turns in midair, lands every bit of that one. 1, 2, and Rob Van Dam, as I said before, survives Don Curvin. Needed 2 5-star frog splash and a damn DDT on the apron to win. As you're seeing some replays now, Curvin was going to choke the life out of him. Really crowned his ass there with the double axe handle, and Van Dam here dropping him with the snake eyes and the beautiful rolling thunder on the outside. One of the prettiest maneuvers in pro wrestling history right here. The rolling thunder by Rob Van Dam, and of course, there ain't no better frog splash than the old 5-star frog splash. And it didn't take 1, it took 2 here to keep Curvin down. And what a match by Rob Van Dam and Don Curvin. Don Curvin now has to go to Slamboree to help Justin Booth and a partner of their choosing against the newly formed Figure Fight Club and Alpha Red and Peter Moline and a partner of their choosing. So I'm excited to see how Slamboree plays out. I'm excited to see how Backlash plays out. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we got one more match. I hope you're ready for it. Jay Ones and Brandon Matthews take on Artie Bucco and a mystery opponent. And wait a minute, what's going on here? Don Curvin is taking it to Rob Van Dam. He's not happy that Van Dam got the W. What the hell is that about? We're going to get some help here for Van Dam. We'll be right back. Got the W. What the hell is that? We'll be right back. Got the W. What the hell is that? We'll be right back. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Here's your main event. I hope you're ready, and here we go. Brandon Matthews going to make his way to the ring first. Brandon Matthews and Jay One's friends for a very long time. Jay One said, listen, you want to take some time out of your busy schedule and fuck up Artie Bucco? And he said, I've already done it once a couple of weeks ago. I have no problem doing it again.
New York.
So here he is, teaming up with Jay One's
Wonder Boy Brandon Matthews.
Wonder Boy Brandon Matthews. I am going to say this, currently has the biggest soles on the bottom of his boots I've ever seen. He was billed at 6'5", but he's really not. He's only 6'2". And Adam Pearce is now scrapping the long or the wide sole boots. He's like, either you're proud to be your height or get the hell out of town. And honestly, I'm just hiding the fact that I made him too tall, so I'm sorry about that. But anyway, Brandon Matthews is here in the ring, ready to go. This young man fired up since coming to the WWF brand. But you want to talk about a staple on Monday Night Raw. It's become Jay One's and Artie Bucco's basically show. Jay One's has been here every single week since the LSWA has started.
At 229 pounds,
Jay One's goes all the way back to the MVW days. And I'm not even talking Mid-Valley Wrestling. I'm talking Middle Village Wrestling when it started in 1995 in a simple backyard or a simple schoolyard in Queens, New York, when him, Artie Bucco, and Tombone decided, I don't want to play football no more. I would rather slam you through a table. And look at this, Jay One slams that beer can right off his head. He's ready to go. Locks in as he is ready to take on his arch nemesis in Artie Bucco. The question is, who is Artie Bucco going to get? Nobody in that locker room as of late has been Artie Bucco's biggest fan. I mean, he tried to be friends with Brandon Matthews. Brandon Matthews went for a handshake, but instead Artie Bucco just slapped the shit out of him. So the question is, who the hell is Artie Bucco going to ask to be his tag team partner here tonight in the main event of Monday Night Raw? As J1 slowly makes his way to the ring here. One of the best songs in LSWA, my personal opinion, of course. And J1's ready to go. One of the most violent individuals I've ever seen. And I'm talking over the years in professional wrestling. This young man will literally use his body as a weapon. Does not give a shit. Does not care. He will do whatever it takes to inflict as much punishment and pain as humanly possible. That to him is the W. He doesn't need a W in the record books. If you walk out of here a little less than what you did when you came in, he considers that the win. So Artie Bucco better be prepared, and his tag team partner better be ready. For when they get in the ring with this guy, all bets are off. It's not sports entertainment anymore. It's a straight up shoot fight, and you better be able to throw some fists. Otherwise, J1's will put you straight in the hospital. As J1's now awaits Artie Bucco and his mystery partner. Oh, Jesus, it's Tone Bone! Tone Bone, as I said before,
from Queens,
look
New York,
at this!
weighing in at
Tone Bone! As I said before, the original three of MVW, Tone Bone, J1's, and Artie Bucco. I didn't even think of that when I was talking about it a second ago. Tone Bone and Artie Bucco go back way, way, way back. You're talking a friendship that spans about 38 years. And then, of course, J1's a friend of theirs for a very long time, but somewhere along the way, they've all split, gone their separate ways. And you're in for a treat tonight as the MVW Originals will all be in the same ring. Virtually at the same time, apparently. As Tone Bone poses to the crowd wearing his old school gear. I guess that's why he's going with old school, because he's fighting a couple old school guys. Tone Bone rocking the gear he rocked when he first started in the wrestling business. An old sweatpants, sweatshirt, kick pads. He went the old backyard route. He figured J1's and Artie Bucco were. Why not him too? And ladies and gentlemen, here he comes. World champion of our hearts. Artie freaking Bucco. Or Artie Butane, however you want to refer to him. And this guy, one of the pillars, original pillars of MVW. As Artie Bucco now is going to make his way to the ring now. The final testament, Artie Bucco. He's ready to go. This is your main event, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight on Monday Night Raw. We got a lot coming up. Of course, Slamboree and Backlash this weekend. We're going to try to get both of them in. If not, we will definitely get Slamboree in. And Backlash will air later just for members only. As Artie Bucco now really letting this crowd know what he thinks of them. Not impressed at all. And this crowd absolutely despises the world champion of our hearts, as he calls himself. But him and Tone Bone, they go way back. Like I said, 38 years back. And they have been the best of friends ever since. Of course, in and out. That's what happens when you get older. Life gets in the way. And here we go, Tone Bone going to fall. Well, wait a minute, go right after Brandon Matthews. And Tone Bone now going to go for an O'Connor roll here. And Brandon Matthews just kicks out of that. Brandon Matthews definitely the greener of the four. As Brandon Matthews just getting into pro wrestling here, but trained under the tutelage of all three of these men who have taught him quite a number of things. And as you knew a couple of weeks ago, Brandon Matthews scored a big-time W over Artie Bucco when Artie Bucco got too arrogant and didn't expect what he got out of Brandon Matthews. And now Brandon Matthews is going to tag in J1s. Now you want to talk about a guy who hates Tone Bone more than life itself. That is J1's one. And Tone Bone just kicks out of that. Tone Bone and J1's, they have feuded for decades. I can tell you this, a lot of Tone Bone's concussions came from J1's. That I can promise you. As J1's goes over, whoa, going for that tope, but Tone Bone telegraphs and knows J1's very, very well, as I just said. As J1's now going to attack Tone Bone. White Russian leg sweep by J1's. Now he's going to go up to the top rope here. You don't want to get hit with that J1's leg drop. Instead, J1's going to drop that elbow right across Tone Bone. Tone Bone, J1's knows how much Tone Bone respects the Macho Man Randy Savage. Probably adding a little insult there by elbowing him off the top rope, making fun of Savage. As now Tone Bone now didn't take kindly to that elbow drop. He's going to work over J1's, and look at that. Beautiful springboard senton. Tone Bone now going to really work over J1's as much as he can. Stomping out J1's, now kicking him right in the face is Tone Bone. If you had to give the experience, if you had to give the knowledge to anybody in this ring, it would definitely be Tone Bone. As he has trained under multiple teachers. He was the one that was in the business the longest. And look at that knee right to the face. And Tone Bone, in a matter of fact, if I had to be quite honest with you, Tone Bone trained all four of the men in this ring. Oh, Superman punch by Tone Bone. Puts J1's down. He knows what kind of punches are going to keep J1's down. Now of the Superman variety. And now Tone Bone goes for a Russian leg sweep. And now J1's now full. Man, J1's does not. Well, let me tell you something. Every time you apply violence or punishment to J1's, it seems to fuel him. It's like his spinach. And look at the power displayed by Tone Bone. Look at that beautiful bone crusher by Tone Bone. This might do it right here. And Brandon Matthews just breaks that up. Tone Bone just laughing at Brandon Matthews right now. As Tone Bone now going to take the fists right to J1's, and he busts J1's right open. Tone Bone yelling at J1's, I don't need no padded gloves to bust your ass wide open, you prick. And oh, wait a minute now, J1's gets up and J1's kicks Tone Bone right in the face. That action was so crazy, I had to spit up phlegm. And now Tone Bone going to clothesline, going to a bulldog combination. What a maneuver by Tone Bone. J1's just gets the cover back to Brandon Matthews, and Tone Bone, Superman punch to Brandon. And now Tone Bone here going to work over Brandon Matthews. A little bit Brandon now. Reversing that. As I said before, Brandon Matthews wearing stilts right now as he's just towering over Tone Bone. And Tone Bone now going to work over those legs to make sure that the tall guy can't stand back up on his feet. And now Tone Bone going to go for it again. Nice! Back fall away slam by Tone Bone. Tags back in Artie Bucco. Well, finally tags in Artie Bucco. As now Artie clotheslines Brandon Matthews. Maybe getting a little receipt for that loss a couple of weeks ago at the hands of Brandon Matthews as he's stomping the hand of Brandon Matthews. Literally. Artie Bucco begging him to get up. He might be going for that springboard drop kick. And that's exactly what he went for. Missile drop kick right to the back of the head of Brandon Matthews. And now placating to this LSWA crowd, joking around with Tone Bone as Tone Bone just laughing at him. Calling him Irish Heat. Now, Brandon Matthews going to work over Artie Bucco here. And now nice backbreaker by Brandon Matthews. Now Artie Bucco sweeps his legs right out from under him. You got to ask yourself a question. Why wasn't it Bourbon McJack? Well, before you ask that question, Bourbon McJack had a match before against Brutus Creed, and I'm sure Bourbon would have fought twice, but look at this now. This is what beat him a couple of weeks ago. He slams Artie Bucco's head right off the canvas. That was the maneuver that got him the W against Artie Bucco a couple of weeks ago. That might do it right there. That's Brandon Matthews now. Gonna go for a sharpshooter on Artie Bucco now. You're gonna want to make him tap. And a little insult to injury. Tone Bone just breaks that up, kicks Brandon right in the chest. As he now giving Artie Bucco the advantage that he needs. But Brandon Matthews just too big. As he puts Artie Bucco right over in a nice Northern Lights suplex. Now Artie Bucco now trying to mount some kind of offense. But Brandon Matthews just too much for him. What a German suplex. Is now Brandon going to tag in J1's. J1's wants a piece of Artie Bucco, but Artie Bucco quickly gets out. He does not want none of J1's right now. And J1's takes it to Tombo. What a bulldog. Tombo doesn't know where he is as J1's now go, wait a minute. Jawbreaker by Tombone. And now look at that pop-up Samoan drop by Tombone. 1, 2, and a kick out by J1's. Tombone just screaming him, would you stay down, you fuck-tut? And no, J1's will not stay down. A nice clothesline by J1's. If Tombone was smart, he might stay down. As J1's now going to really, look at that. No scientifics, no wrestling moves, just punches and kicks. And there it is, the J1's leg drop. That might do it right there. 1, 2, and Tombone just kicks out of the J1's leg drop. That could have done it right there. Irish whip into the corner. Tags back in Brandon Matthews. We're going to see our first tag team maneuver of the night here. Tombone Irish whip. Big time back body drop. Slams Tombone down. And now Tombone just makes the tag to Artie Bucco. He says, get the fuck in here. And look at that Artie Bucco. What a maneuver. Fantastic athleticism by the Bookster. He is now going to work over the big man's legs, trying to keep Brandon Matthews down. And no, Artie Bucco not done. Going to work that leg over some more. Tombone finally stirring over there on the outside. Finally getting back up onto the apron. Tombone took some punishment from J1's there a little second ago. I don't think Tombone might have much left in that tank. Of course, Tombone off from Backlash. At least that's what I know. Whoa, what a beautiful cradle driver right there. Or fisherman driver, whatever the hell you want to call it. Tombone just breaking it up for Artie Bucco. As now both of these men find themselves in a bad way here. Tombone and Artie Bucco I'm referring to is now Artie Bucco's in the sharpshooter. This might do it. Tombone just screaming at Artie Bucco. Crawl to the damn ropes. But I don't think Artie Bucco has much left in him. After the beating at the hands of these two men here. No, here we go. Another tag team. But I got to tell you something. Brandon Matthews and J1's are working well together right now. Better than Tombone and Artie. And oh, man, Tombone's kind of laughing at Artie right now. Tombone don't really care. He's just here having a good time. He knows. He's just waiting the winner of Backlash between Brett and Sean. He's rid the WWE of Stone Cold like he said he would. And now Artie Bucco, beautiful brain buster maneuver by Artie Bucco. Going to go for a cover here, and Brandon Matthews knows that would probably have done it right there. And he breaks it up, and Artie Bucco really furious with the referee for letting Brandon Matthews continuously break up the pin here. Nice missile dropkick right to the face of J1's. But that actually fired J1's up now. He's furious with Artie Bucco as he slams Artie Bucco off the concrete floor. And I don't like the looks of this. J1's is going to go to the top rope here. What is J1's going to do on the outside? He drops an elbow right across Artie Bucco as he was getting up. That's a big time. I'm worried about Artie Bucco right there as J1's playing to the crowd here. Artie Bucco, J1's does not want Artie Bucco to get counted out here as he now gone after him, slams his head right off the concrete. As I said before, these two men have so much animosity towards each other. They cannot stand each other. Tone Bone just watching on. Tone Bone apparently doesn't have much of a vested interest in any of this. He just showed up to fight. And a drop kick by J1s. The J1s might be going. But it looks like, there it is, the rolling rock senton. Here we go. J1, Tone Bone's laughing too. Tone Bone laughed and watched it happen. Tone Bone doesn't give a shit. Tone Bone just drops off the apron and laughs. Ladies and gentlemen, that was your main event. J1s scores a big-time victory over Artie Bucco, going into their last man standing match at Backlash. Tone Bone figured oh, look at that Superman punch. Tone Bone put on a hell of a show, but was only here to have fun, it seemed, as he didn't really care to help Artie Bucco at all. Knowing that he's got a world title match in his back pocket, and possibly the night off at Backlash, he just kind of rode this go-home show. He didn't really give a shit, as these two men really took it to Artie Bucco and Tone Bone. And now Artie Bucco, the unfortunate recipient of another loss at the hands of J1s.
Here are your winners.
But here are your winners.
Wonderboy.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I appreciate you for being a member. I hope to see you live this weekend for Slamboree and Backlash. Until then, this is Tony Styles. This is the LSWA Monday Night Raw. We appreciate you, and have a great rest of your night.